I don't know why I keep wanting to think about that father type. I guess because I am so interested in education, but yeah, just without going too much into it, I was thinking, yeah, it's sad to be raised that way. So there's no mention of a mother, so presumably, especially in those days, she would have passed away. You could, even wonder if she might have left the father, if he's kind of like an embittered, one-track mind, angry, kind of, unhappy person. And but either way, she's gone. There's no mention of any brothers or sisters. The later on in the party, the no the knights are like his brothers, and there's some echo here of like Joseph and his other brothers in the Bible, the jealous brothers. But uh but yeah, kind of growing up, you could see how, yeah, he wouldn't know what to do with himself. Like, uh, I'm sure he senses, well, I don't want to be like my dad. But like, yeah, there's no indication that he has any other sort of example. And then that makes it interesting thinking about how, okay, so his first contact with the world after kind of going out. So he goes out from the home territory and the homestead or whatever the king's realm. He goes
Mhm.
out into the woods, into the wild, and then enters, yeah, the dark, ruined, forgotten place. I'm just, yeah. But yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I don't know what to say about that, but that resonates with me as something important. Maybe that's like in modern language, that's like the son who was raised in a kind of bitter kind of place, and maybe, let's just map it one to one. There was no mother around, and there's just the father, and maybe he's a workaholic, maybe he's an actual alcoholic or something like that. But yeah, there isn't much wisdom, love in the house. There isn't much stability. The only thing the father knows is to like kick his ass out of the house at a certain age. And then yeah, and that's a believable story to me. That's a believe even if he went to school in our society, he might not have seen like a good example among his teachers of who he wants to be. And he might not have, in the curriculum, he might not have learned very much that kind of teaches him what a good life is, who a good person is. And then yeah, he goes out, and now he's on the streets, he's in the wild, and yeah, maybe he gets addicted. Maybe yeah, he has to, but eventually yeah, he has to face the void and the darkness of himself. So anyway, but
You can
maybe
give,
I went
yeah.
went off too
No,
much
that
on
was great.
that,
I want
but
to riff on that. So he has to face the void and darkness of himself, and he has to go into the forgotten castle and get beaten up by all the shadowy men that are he has to
yeah,
feel the intense feelings.
right,
And
yeah,
he comes out and and I mean, if we're mapping this onto like like you were saying, like a real world rags to riches kind of story, like, oh, you grow up with this one dad and he kicks you out and you're kind of struggling in the world, and then you go through this catharsis where you confront, you go through this pain of your demons instead of running from them. You turn and you face them, and you're feeling whatever the princess is, the woman is, like some part of yourself comes back. So your soul comes back into your body. You're alive again. You're not chasing addiction. You're like, oh, I made myself clean. I don't have to live with my father's story of me. But then, in real world stories, like, oh, you clean yourself up, you're off the streets, you get a job, you're working hard, you're doing good, and then like you do something and you fuck it up. You run into some kind of a problem or you get into a fight with your boss or whatever, and you crash again. And I think due to sort of a lack of father figure, or whatever, however you want to put it, lack of instruction. And I think what the story points to is like if you think of like the Greek tragedies, they'll often be like, oh, well, there's this personal flaw that leads, even after success, leads to this downfall,
yeah,
right? But what this one's pointing to is like, hey, yeah, that's gonna happen. And when you fall, if you pick up the iron shoes and you work in the world and you try and make something of yourself, learning the lesson of what led to your failure, you will regain what you have lost, and you will be better. You will be more able to hold on to it that time. I feel like so many people would give up at that point of like,
Yeah.
man,
Yeah.
I did all the work. I got clean or whatever. I got off and got off the streets, and I'm doing better, and I fucked it up again. I'm just a terrible person. And it's like, no, you know, you had some disadvantages growing up, and those are going to have lawful results, and you can't you can't fault yourself. You can't take on the identity of the person who is subject to these things. You just have to use it as an opportunity to understand what it is that caused it. So in this case, the arrogant need to turn the ring, the need to show up and be seen as special,
Yeah.
the need to kind of make up for this feeling of, oh, I'm not good enough. Oh, these guys are teasing me. Oh, I'm really annoyed and irritated. Why won't they stop teasing me? It reveals to Hans that he is still seeing himself as the groundskeeper's son. He needs to prove to these guys that he's not. He's got this beautiful. I do have this beautiful wife. I am this prince. Let me show you. No, but that all of that is just him still holding on to that story of not being good enough.
Yeah.
And if you can take that as a learning opportunity and be like, oh wow, I did that to myself. I'm going to make it right. You can this even if the shoes tell you you're never going to see me again. If you go off and you, in the face of that, no, you go off and you say yes to it. I am going to achieve this again. When you achieve it again, you will have come around to a higher version of yourself, and therefore better able to match the sort of higher position that you had earned through your earlier labors.